loves ginger beer, gingerbread cookies, and tickles by our next guest, Ginger Toast. Give it up for Mr. Ginger Toast!
I love ginger.
Hey! How's everyone doing tonight?
Woo!
Good?
Yeah.
Can you make some noise for Davidas Evans real quick? So a couple things before we get started, just a couple announcements. First of all, only please laugh or applaud if you genuinely find me funny. I can tell what you're thinking. The second thing is you might see me from time to time referring to my little cheat sheet. Maybe a joke. Smoked a lot of marijuana in my life. Thank you. How was everyone's Thanksgiving? Everyone have a good time? Turkey, family getting together?
Gravy.
Because of Thanksgiving, I got interested. I did a little research on the holiday. Turns out the first Thanksgiving was celebrated in 1621, and the people who participated gathered around the turkey. The first official Black Thanksgiving wasn't celebrated until 1897, when they gathered around the first jive turkey. This was followed immediately the next day by the first Black Friday, which for white people was just a regular Friday. Also this year, the executive teams from Chase Manhattan, JP Morgan, and Bank of America all got together and celebrated their very first Thanksgiving. Instead of turkey, they served several California condor. And instead of gravy, the blood, sweat, and tears of the American working man and woman. Sorry, I hate those fuckers and just feels good to see. Also this year, President Obama pardoned his 5th turkey as president, as per tradition. The turkey was shipped off and joined the other 4 at Guantanamo Bay. And it was like, why is he killing me? And it was a cool year for me because I spent my first Thanksgiving with my girlfriend's family, and my girlfriend is Japanese. Okay, many of you know my girlfriend. She's not really Japanese. Just fucking. Okay. My girlfriend is Japanese, and I went to her house, and it was cool because she's Japanese American, but her family is like more traditional. So everything was kind of done along gender lines. Like all the women cooked and cleaned and set the table, and then all the men had to fight over who was going to carve the dolphin. Admittedly, these jokes have been a little bit racist, and all for Davidas. One thing I don't like, however, is how when people say something overgeneralization on entire group of people that is kind or positive, that's not racism. If you say to me, "Oh, I'm meeting my Asian friend later," and I'm like, "Oh, she must be beautiful and young looking," that's okay. You can say that. Yeah. If someone says, "Oh, I'm dating a Frenchman now," you say, "Oh, I bet he's a good kisser." Just once, I want to walk into a bar and overhear, "Oh my God, look at that ginger Jewish guy. His dick must be huge." And on fire. So I have a question. How did "this sucks balls" become the euphemism for the worst possible scenario? First of all, some people like sucking balls, and I for one appreciate that. We should change this around and kind of encourage this behavior. So the next time you're watching the Niners play and they score the winning touchdown, you need to shout, "We suck balls! We suck balls!" I thought recently about, sorry, it's hot up there.
His dick must be
No, it's okay. The dicks, that calls, please, keep going. I thought recently about my first sexual experience, and it was with Barbie, the doll. My sister was out of town at a friend's house. I snuck into her room, and I carefully removed Barbie's top, undid the Velcro, and there were these like encouraging mounds, and I started getting a little warm. And I took her Barbie's little pants off. And that's when things got confusing, because there was just like this flat piece of rubber there. And I looked over at Ken, and he's like, dude, I have no idea what's going on. I've been trying to figure this one out for years. But I eventually figured it out. Actually, for years, my dad thought that I was gay, and I just wasn't that impressed. So, but I eventually did see an actual vagina, and honestly, I'm still pretty confused. I try to be a good lover. I use all parts of me that conceivably can be used. I finger. I'm a fingerer. In San Francisco, the nomenclature is stroking. Right now. When you're fingering, these muscles tend to tense up pretty quickly. And I can't always bring a girl to orgasm by the time lactic acid sets in. And I was wondering, is it okay to like switch arms? Like pull the Indiana Jones, you know, where like steals I think of it in terms of like baseball, actually. It's like, this guy's had 8.5 solid innings, he's gotten in there, great. And then, this guy's been warming up in the bullpen, he's ready as the closer, but he hasn't really felt the pressure of the mound. And I'm also taking my shirt off, it's getting
Who said that?
I recently moved in with my girlfriend, and it's really annoying because everyone's like, oh, you're cohabitating. How's cohab going? You cohabitation. What's up with cohabitation? I'm like, stop calling it that, okay? We're not frustrating a zookeeper because we're unwilling to mate. We just live together. I picture it like it's an experiment, like, if you see here in panel 7, you'll see cohabitation subjects A and B. In this example, the female has now killed the male, and is devouring much of his body, discarding the lower intestine genitalia for their poor nutritional content. We have a lot of promise for these two. We're not pandas, okay? We live together.
A lot of protein in the genitalia.
I'm not gonna do that one. Okay. Something funny happens when you live together. You have to create a sexy space because you tend to like drift into the friend zone from time to time. Like you cook together, you shop, you do laundry, you do taxes on the table. Like you have to really create that tight sexual container. And I consider this like a premature baby hummingbird. It's fragile. It's a hummingbird in a wheelchair. There's a shell right there still. Hummingbird head. And when I was dating, I used to create this hummingbird, this sexual experience, sometimes prematurely at dinner. And the girl would be like getting all like, into it and excited, and I'd be like, oh God. I'm gonna lose it, Gotta get it to the nest safely. So we'd go on the train, we'd eat dinner, we'd go on the train, I'd start like caressing her and whispering in her ear, and then I'd say something entirely inappropriate, like, oh yeah, you're gonna go back to my house. Fuck you, dirty whore.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh God. But when you're in a relationship, you still have to keep that sexual container going. Like, you have to choose the right music when you're having sex. Music's a good one. On our playlist, Fish came on one time. Having sex to Fish is a bad idea. We're getting into it, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, why are you over there now and spinning in a circle?
Bouncing around the room.
Here's another thing that happens during sex. You'll be going at it and just getting into it. It's like, Oh. Oh. What is that? I'm giving you like the best I got. You should not be getting distracted. I don't care what Black Widow comes over and bites you. Stay in the mood. You know? My girlfriend's actually in this room tonight. I probably probably pissed her off today. You gotta be careful with women because if they're upset at you, your physical, emotional, mental state is completely irrelevant. I can have a spear.
Why are you talking about it then?
So I moved to Oakland. But I loved living in San Francisco. I would hang out in Dolores Park all the time, so I'm sure some of you wearing plaid have been there. And it's funny, I found out recently that Dolores Park actually used to be a Jewish cemetery, true story. And the reason I know this is because I was sitting in the park, all of a sudden I heard, woo, woo. Don't sit there, there's dog poop everywhere, you forgot your blanket. Don't buy marijuana from that guy. Don't buy, oh fuck.
Come on, do it.
So I bought the marijuana.
Truffles!
It's part of the reason why I moved to, San Francisco. It's liberal marijuana laws, like getting high. And I like getting hands high. Anybody here ever blow smoke at their dog or cat or? I once got a mouth high. And I just blew smoke at it. I left the room, came back a few minutes later, and then there's a half-eaten sweater on the floor. Another reason why I like living in San Francisco is liberal marijuana laws. I was arrested for pot. I was arrested in Texas, and I got to, on the way to jail, I was so worried that I'd never been in jail before. I'm like, am I going to get raped? Is that what happens in jail? That's the most fearful part, I think. And this is the part I don't understand because how do you become a rapist by going to jail? It's like, oh, it's been about 2 months, no sex. I'm going to rape someone. I went the first 19 years of my life not having sex. Never once did I say, I think I'll rape this. Anyway, thank you very much.